All I really wanna see is the money. I don't really need a D, I need the money. All a bad bitch need is the money. I got bands in the...
Who does not want freedom, right? Freedom with more time, freedom to travel, freedom to just do, be, live however you want to live. It's something that I hear a lot whenever I meet someone, especially people who may be interested in becoming an entrepreneur. Usually it's something around, I want more time. I want to be able to travel. I don't want to work from home. There's this whole thing around having this freedom. And when I was a kid, my my father, he worked as an industrial engineer for a variety of like manufacturing plants in rural America where there's like maybe 2,000 people, the same 2,000 people, their families have lived there forever. And my father's job was to make sure that there was efficiency, they were meeting their numbers, and often the um, the products that they made were something around cars. Like we always had like different air filters. I thought it was always so cool. My dad would bring home like an air filter. I've always been into cars because he made me his little mini him and his little assistant. So I loved all these things. And what was really impactful throughout those formative years here on Kizzy Unfiltered. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. And that is sometimes these organizations, these companies, these firms, they would shut down overnight. They were gone. Kind of like being ghosted by somebody. Like you're constantly messaging or you're DMing or maybe you're FaceTiming and you're like, oh, this is great. And then nothing. You're like, what happened? Where did they go? Like what happened? And I would see communities decimated or we would leave. And so I wouldn't be able to really experience the aftermath. It would happen again and again and again. And often these companies would leave to save money. So what I saw was, why rely on a corporation for your income if without a moment's notice they're just going to shut down and completely relocate and not really care about the aftermath? And it's something I think about a lot as an entrepreneur, as someone who helps entrepreneurs, and as someone who just has the opportunity to engage with people who want that freedom. Because that freedom obtained through entrepreneurship prevents the destruction. It prevents going from making six figures, taking care of your family, preparing for a family event, and finding out, oh my gosh, they're closing down. It prevents that. You have true freedom. And where you go is based on your higher power and what you put into it. So, this notion that's out there around this freedom and choice and live how you want to live and spend more time with family, which also is interesting. I want to go down that rabbit hole a second. Y'all, do people really want to spend more time with family? Do we not remember what happened during lockdown? Y'all remember we had a little too much time with family. So maybe people just say they want to spend more time with family because it's like the PC thing to say. But y'all know during lockdown, y'all did not want to spend time with each other. You couldn't wait to get a haircut and go to the beach and, get rid of the pet that you bought and turn it in when you realize it involves some work. So again, here on Kizzy Unfiltered, I'm speaking my mind and sharing the things that I know you're thinking. I know you were thinking that too. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and follow and share. So, and comment, y'all. I love comments. So, this notion of freedom, it has a second part. So, it prevents the waking up, your job is gone, poof, what are we going to do? But then the second part is all around the freedom of what you are to make of it because it's based on what you put in. So now on this journey of freedom and entrepreneurship and more time with friends and family and more money, there's also no one over here saying, have you turned in this report? Have you bid on this? What's going on with your sales funnel? What is your profit this month? Did you meet all the expectations of the board? And not that there aren't entrepreneurs that have those obligations, but especially if you're starting out, or maybe you have a different type of company that you've created, y'all, it's just us. It's us. And so the freedom has a cost because someone could argue, well, I have freedom too. I work from home. I've saved, I invest in my 401k. I have real estate. My net worth is $5 million. I'm 23 and a half. I have way more freedom than someone who's an entrepreneur spending all of these hours building their empire. Regardless, it still goes back to we have a choice, and it's about the type of life that we want to live. And that's what's so amazing about being an entrepreneur and being able to make that decision of where you really want to go. Because often both paths are glamorized. It's glamorous to work for a company who people recognize because we love that affiliation. Psychological theories have shown how we adore affiliation. Oh, wow, you work at Google, you work at, Fenty. Oh my gosh, what is that like? Have you met Rihanna? You know what I mean? So I get it. But then it's also glamorous and has been glamorized to be an entrepreneur, right? Because then you're like working at the beach and on a yacht, and people say things to you like, oh, wow, Kizzy, you live in South Beach. Do you work at the beach all the time? No. Like, I'm going to take this computer into the beach. No. When I'm on the beach, I may read. Otherwise, I'm hanging out, I'm relaxing. And back before I was sober, I was drinking. I mean, come on, y'all, it's the beach. So, what's important is what you're willing to put in to obtain the freedom. There's always a cost. To get that energy back, you have to put out some kind of energy. So, it's a matter of what are you willing to really put out? And it has this huge impact on what you're going to receive. Initially, I had this scarcity mindset. I was always so anxious, always thought, always concerned that at any moment, this entity that I built was just going to crumble. It's just going to completely crumble. So, as you can imagine, it didn't yield profitable contracts or this life of just glamour and Instagram worthy snapshots. It didn't feel or it seemed like freedom. seemed like instead I was in a prison that I had created. So the switch happened with growth and development and seeing the world as abundant. So when we talk about we want freedom, we want choice, we want more time with friends and family, we want more money, we want more of these things, we want to live like the people you see or your neighbors. It's also about your thoughts and your perceptions. What we believe is reality is our reality, connected to our thoughts and beliefs. There's a whole slew, and I know you're going to love this, y'all, all my amazing listeners here on Kizzy Unfiltered. There's a slew of research out there that has shown, let's say you're like me and you're a Detroit Lions fan. I know none of y'all are. There's like 3 of us. I get it. Understood. But just kind of roll with me. Like this role play, right? And you see a clip of a game against Dallas because they're always screwing us over every time they play us. And there's a call. So research has shown if you're a fan of the team where if they judged in favor of that team, right, you're more apt to go with that call. So if there's a flag on the play and if the referee agrees with the flag, then hey, Detroit gets the touchdown. So of course I'm going to agree with it, right? Because I like Detroit. I already don't like Dallas because they're part of the out group. I already have these thoughts about Dallas because of the out group. So I'm going for, hey, ref, you need to do the right thing and call in favor of the Lions. But if the roles were reversed, then I would see things differently. So this is how powerful this is. Not only has my brain processed information differently because I like the freaking losing Lions, but if I watched that same clip, probably wouldn't. But if I did with a Dallas Cowboys fan, they would walk away with something completely different. And that happens a lot in life. If you believe it, it will become that. If you believe that you can't have freedom, you won't have freedom. If you believe you can't lose weight, you're not going to lose weight. If you believe that things are going to be amazing and easy and come so naturally for you, guess what? That's how they're going to be, y'all. So that freedom, I so started to fall in love with as I watched my father go from company to company to company to company. And I promised myself, when you start a company, you're never going to treat people like that. I now am in that place where I see this abundance and love. And I get it and I forgive what's happened. Companies are companies, business is business. But we as people, man, there's some beautiful things we can do, especially when we come from a place of love, y'all. So when it comes to wanting freedom, to doing what it takes, of course, coming here and listen to Kizzy Unfiltered is like where you need to be, like first and foremost. Let's just keep it real, y'all. And also know it's a journey. It's not a destination, right? I guess you ain't using your Waze app. It's just a journey. You ain't using a Waze app. You're using, I don't know, some old school skills, right? Like a stick and stuff. So I want to thank you all for being here with me. And until next time, please like, please subscribe, please share, please comment. And remember, freedom is attainable. It's just, are you willing to go after it?
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radical, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient Nasset. Nasset increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.